Hey YouTube, it's been a while since I did a video. I should have done one about 2 weeks ago, but anyway, as you can see, I passed. Passed on my first try, thank gosh. We ended up having a couple of problems the day we went to go test. We had a we trained on a Freightliner glider kit truck for a month, and they've used this truck plenty of times before to test. Well, we got all the way up there. It was bad weather. It was kind of bad weather in Gary, and we went to South Bend in Indiana to go do our testing. All of us, we rode up there. The instructor drove us up there. It was kind of icy. Some of the roads were getting bad. They were getting some highways shut down. But we got all the way there, and waiting around a little bit, the instructor was telling us, hey, we're going to leave here in about 30, 45 minutes, check out the roads, and if they're okay, then, we'll probably have at least 2 of your guys test, but if it gets worse, one of your guys may not test today, but anyway, as they were checking out the truck or whatever, they ended up finding a problem, something with the GVWR gross vehicle weight rating. Didn't have the sticker on the door for some apparent reason, and they couldn't let us test with the truck when they've tested with this truck just the month before. My class came in there to test, and my trainer was just highly mad because when we done drove up there in this weather to do nothing. But anyways, so we were all upset because, we were just ready to test and get it over with. I really was. And, but, it went good. For me, it went better than the other guys. I feel bad for them that they had to kind of wait, but they let me test. We had to drive all the way back to the terminal, and, we weren't going to test at all because of the weather, but then it got better, so we weren't worried about that part. But they called my trainer and, terminal, they talked to each other, and they just said, well, you can choose one of your guys to test today if you want. Another trainer will take him up there, or he can drive the truck up there, because you're going to have to use a different truck until we can get this situated out with your truck. And so I had to drive. The other trainer, I met him already before, and pretty cool guy. His name's Bart. He let me drive up there to South Bend so I could kind of get used to the truck before I just hopped in it and took my test in it, since I was used to a glider, and they're a little different. The shifting was a little different on a glider because your clutch is stiffer and stuff like that. But the whole in general, it's the same. Obviously, that's no excuse for doing things differently in a glider kit and another truck. But anyways, it was just different to me, since it's But anyway, I'm gonna try to make this quick. My trainer's in there getting some breakfast, and we're going to Rising Sun, Ohio, to charter steel. But anyway, my trainer told me, he said, if you want to test today, you can, but if you don't feel comfortable, then you don't have to. He actually, since I had the better pre-test scores and of out of the other two students, then he asked me first, and if I didn't want to, he would have went to the next person. But I said, hell yeah, I do. I'm ready to get this over with. And then Bart was telling me, he said, if you want to drive, you can drive to get used to the truck, or whatever you need to do. And I drove for 30 minutes, and then we stopped because I was extremely hungry. We had woke up early that morning to go up there, and by now it was already after lunch, and it was like around 1 or 2, and I still hadn't had anything to eat, no breakfast, nothing, because we had to leave extremely early. We couldn't eat breakfast at the hotel. And so he was fortunate enough that he let us. We stopped, and we had time, and I ate while he drove about another 20-30 minutes, and then he pulled over, and then so I could drive to get used to the truck again. So anyways, you know, we went there. I did pass. It was a little different backing up. It just felt different to me because the other truck, I don't know if it was any difference in length or anything, but it was just different. But I did pass. I did pretty good on my pre-trip. I missed a couple things on pre-trip just because the engine bay was different from the glider kit that I trained on for a month and I was used to seeing. I'd miss stupid things like forgot to mention that the water pump was belt driven, stuff like that. Just things that you shouldn't miss. I only got like 4 points I think on my pre-trip, but it wasn't bad. So and I passed the in-cab and the brake test flawlessly. My skills test, I did terrific. Going into my parallel, I had 0 points. Never used to get out or back up. Or pull up on offset or straight line. On parallel, I did use one get out just to make sure I was going in at the correct angle and back enough. And so it was parallel did kind of, I had to do some maneuvers to make sure I was in the box. I breached once. My drive did breach once, I want to say. I think that was the one that breached. And of course, it's only 2 points. I wasn't worried about it being perfect. I just wanted it to be in the box. But it actually came out perfect. I breached once backing up, and I breached once pulling forward. And then I backed up. So I only had 1 pull up and 2 breaches, which is 4 points. So I had 4 points on my total points for my skills. But I never hit a cone or anything like that. But anyway, did that. Then we went on to the driving part. Had a couple of incidences where, crazy people driving out on the roads and stuff. But those things happen, and and that's the whole purpose of us being out here for 19 days with a over-the-road trainer, because things will happen, and not everything is going to happen while you're out here with a trainer over the road. There's a lot of things that you'll see throughout your career of driving an 18-wheeler over the road. There's guys that's been doing this for 30 years that still see crazy shit. They don't, can't believe why. So anyways, I'm going to get off here. My trainer's back. And we'll have another video coming up for you guys shortly.